Hello everybody and welcome to Vicky Pattison, The Secret To. This week I'm joined by reality TV veterans, MIC legends, and our favourite posh best friends. It's Sophie Hermann and Fredrik Ferrier, everybody.
Hello. Sophie, have you ever been...
I've never been called a veteran in my life before. How dare you, Vicky?
Yeah.
It's always a risky one, you know, and when I say it, I always think, are they going to fucking take this as a compliment, which is how is it intended? Are they going to think I'm calling them old cunts?
Icon is better than veteran.
Yeah.
Would you prefer? I could redo it if you like.
Reality war hero kind of thing.
Exactly. But then I also feel like, you know, having gone through all of these, like,
She has PTSD from all those things.
The drama, exactly. I feel like I've been to war. So.
Every single time she hears a fucking Leeds accent, she goes, fucking hell,
Yeah.
I fucking hate that accent, bloody hell.
Yeah, I prefer the Geordie accent. That's why. That's why also part of why we're here, because we love a Geordie.
Well, thank you so much. Honestly, though, having been through a fair amount of reality TV shows myself, I would say I would consider myself a veteran. Like it is a kind of difficult thing to get through on some of them.
Yeah. You did the driving one with Francis as well, didn't you?
Oh, wait, that bus one?
No.
That's what Francis asked me to go on a bus. And I was like, I don't think so.
I don't in real life, and I'm not going to go on a fucking show on a bus.
Exactly.
Okay?
Plus, they didn't even offer for it. They offered like $6,000 to go on a bus tour through Eastern Europe. And I was like, are you kidding me?
If I wanted to go interrailing, I'd do it myself.
Exactly. I'd rather go train spotting. I mean,
do you know what? No, I actually did both of those things that you're talking about. I know exactly what
it's called, what's it called? Celebrity coach trip or something. Yes.
And I mean, I don't mean to be tacky, but I did get a lot more than $6,000, Francis.
Exactly. Yeah, there you go, Francis.
But I know what you're talking about as well, Fred, right? It was the celebrity driving school.
Yes.
Oh, honestly. And I was so shite at that. Like, that was the worst.
Did you get your driver's license in the end?
No, I fucking didn't, Sophie.
No, I fucking didn't.
But you know what, Lassie, don't worry your pretty little head about that, because I and didn't do it on TV, but when I've done my driver's license, or attempted in Munich back in the days, I failed the written one, I think 4 times, and then the practice I failed once. And you know, now I have it, and I'm driving happily in my crazy Italian way.
As long as you're not the passenger, you know, it's great, because I've been the passenger, and
you loved it.
Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful.
5 stars for me.
Yeah. 5-star bus. 5-star.
I was the only one who, out of like 16 celebs or whatever, wasn't allowed to sit a driving test. They described me driving style as highly unpredictable and very dangerous.
I think that sounds so sexy.
That could be a hinge profile. Describe yourself. You know,
on the ride of your life.
Yeah, the fucking ride of your life.
The ride of your life.
Oh, anyway, yeah, we've done our fair share between. What's been your favourite reality show that you've ever done?
I've just done one, so speak to the veteran. Speak to the veteran over here.
I mean, reality TV show. I mean, you know, apart from Made in Chelsea, I've only done Celebs Go Dating, and both had its pros and cons. But I have to say, weirdly, Celebs Go Dating was the funnest time that I.
Why are you doing
had,
that?
Because it was so good. I had just the best time, because it was very unexpected. Because as a Geordie yourself, you must know your rep is like a thunder, and you know, you could see me in the show saying, like, I always expected Geordie Shore people to, or Geordies to be very like whatever, you know what I mean.
The whole region of the show.
Yeah, exactly. You guys are all the same.
The realm of George. Yeah. And I just thought they're like fucking fighting and drinking, and that basically on day one I will get beaten up, and that didn't happen. And you know, because there was, and then my friendship with Chloe and with Kim was just very unexpected and so beautiful that with Chelsea, there's always a lot of drama and actual real fights involved that, because it is a reality show, so the fights are real as well. And that didn't happen on Celebs Go Dating. So that was actually quite relaxing for some time. So that's probably that one.
I honestly, I love both of them. I'm a big reality TV fan in general. But the year you did Celebs Go Dating, it was the year you all lived together, wasn't it? Did you do
excellent vintage. Yes. It was probably the best vintage of Celebs Go Dating. Sophie will tell you that.
It just gets better. Yeah. I sometimes watch it when I fall
on
asleep,
repeat,
and I'm like, oh, those were the days.
All right, Sophie, what you gonna do now?
Yeah, no, that's when everyone lived together. And when they first presented that format to me, they're like, so yeah, it's all in one house. And you know, when we filmed Chelsea during lockdown in these cohorts, we were also all in one house. However, there was no camera in your face when you wake up and it's like, good morning. So I was like, yeah, I am
You could have done an OnlyFans on the side in hindsight. Exactly. You had the cameras ready right in the bed, you know? Missed opportunity.
That is true.
Next time.
Yeah, there's always next year. And and when they first presented that format to me and said, yeah, you're all gonna sleep in one room, I was like, yeah, bye-bye. And good to see you. And I didn't think that they would actually give me my own room, which they then did. So that was splendid. And in the end, to be honest, this house was fucking huge. And the whole, we just, like everyone except me, just occupied the ground floor. There were like 5 other floors to go to. So in the end, the girls could have asked for their room as well, but they didn't. And if you don't ask, you don't get.
They were basically just pushing you. It's like a sort of Squid Game, you know, where they're just all like pushing you into one room.
Yeah, except that I was the old guy.
Yeah, exactly. But she was so scared. You were initially really. I remember when you called me, like, what have I done? I'm really. And I was like, I really think people, because on Chelsea, you know, I don't think people saw like, you know, how funny she was and how charming she was. So, and I feel like with Celebs Go Dating, after that, people kind of saw like a much more like full picture of you. So
that's really true, because yes, there were camera teams, obviously, but a lot of the footage was just captured by the big brothers watching you cameras all around. So
you can't hide from anything. You can't really hide
that, but that was good because it showed how lovely I am, and because like on Chelsea, it sometimes can be difficult, and you have no power in the edit, and obviously the older you get, the more important this also becomes to you, because you're like, dude, I'm not that person. Like, what have you done with me? So yeah.
I also think with shows like Made in Chelsea, it's really easy to get like pigeonholed as a certain thing, you know, and they see you as that character and they want you for one thing. So whether that's scathing put downs or messy love lives or whatever, like that's all they want you for. They becoming this like 3-dimensional, superhuman, interesting character. It's difficult for them to follow it, you know, it's just a reality show. So yeah, on stuff like that, I think they need you as one thing. Whereas on Celebs Go Dating, we got to see you as loads of things, Sophie, in all your resplendent 3-dimensional glory. So yeah, I was a big fan, mate.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, but it is very true, because on Chelsea, it is a reality show, but then you are that character as well. So you live like in this weird matrix of, you know, like what's real, what's not, but Truman Showy. And yeah, and like when I first joined back in the days in 2013, we missed each other then. You left then. Things could have ended so differently.
Imagine.
So you've been there nearly 10 years then, lass.
Well, I left last year. No, I left last year, and it was an on and off. And I first came on with Victoria Baker Harbour, who's my good friend, but we fell out on the show twice as well, and Mark Francis, and so they put me as this like, oh yeah, the fun like German diva that is now kind of like the third musketeer of Mark Francis and Victoria, but they kind of portrayed me like one of Cinderella's evil stepsisters, and that is really not what I was. And yeah, I mean, that was a character that I wasn't really happy with. So it was good that I then came back and they showed a bit more of me.
Did you actually find when you were doing Geordie Shore, because people want to see Geordie Shore because it's, I'd say, one of the most extreme of the reality shows in the sense of what you see. So did you find that when you were doing it? Yeah, I mean, did you find that when you were doing it, people, you would like, whilst filming, you would want to sort of play up to the sort of more kind of as raucous as possible because of everyone around? Was that kind of the way it was?
Well, I was literally just talking to Elif and I said, like, I know you guys, that's my producer, she always gets a little name check, bless her. I feel like you guys, even though you had your moments of drama and all the rest of it and stuff, like for me, who's dipped out and have made in Chelsea over the years, but predominantly being a fan, like I always felt like you managed to keep abreast of most of it, you know, whereas I was just fucking balls to the wall, like in the drama all the time. And I went, I'd love to ask them like how they managed to sort of stay out of it and, you know, keep a bit dignified. But then again, even if you gave us the advice, I wouldn't do it. I think like regardless of whether I'm at that age, whether I was in a reality TV show format or just being with me friends outside of the show, I was a bit dramatic, you know, and I was loud and leery. And I think you have to take ownership of that to a certain extent. You know, I got found for a reason. I was throwing drinks in people's faces, unfortunately, long before the cameras were rolling. So that's on me. But no, like, you're right.
Were you with Scotty T? Did you film with him?
Yeah. So, you know, I'd known Scott for so long outside of the show as well. And he'd always just been an absolute knob.
He's a... Some would say a knob, some would say national treasure. He's one of, I'm super fucking Mario with a massive fucking bulge.
That sounds like Tom Zanetti, but okay.
And I grill more birds than George Foreman. He's like,
oh my God.
His lyrics are just like, wow.
Honestly,
so were you friends with Chloe then on the show?
No, so oh God, I'm actually a million years older than Chloe.
Oh, stop. Listen, I know. I think you and me are the same age, right?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. I think so. Obviously, when I was going out, Chloe was probably like a twinkle in her dad's eye or something. Yeah. So no, we never.
But that's the thing with Made in Chelsea, because they now keep on casting people that are like 19, and I'm like, sorry, I'm 30-fucking-5. I have nothing in common with these people. And yes, like I feel so young, and I feel like I am still 20 until I talk to an actual 20-year-old, and then I'm like, fuck no.
That's it, isn't it? Like you have this mentality of yourself as still being like really young and fresh and super cool, and then you meet someone who is young and fresh,
and you're like, what's no cap? Just wait, hold on. I just need to Urban Dictionary all these cool things. And
it's music. It's the music that where I really show my age, because like even you know Erkan, obviously Fred.
Yes.
And I'm a bit of a cougar. He's 6 years younger than me. I know, yeah, absolute cradle snatcher. So he'll put
6 years is nothing. That's fine. Plus men die earlier anyway. So I mean, it's perfect. It's just science, Vicky.
Well, yeah, very fair enough. But yeah, whenever he puts music on, I'm always like, fucking who's this? And why are they just shouting? Like, I want to sing along to something. I still like Girls Aloud.
Sophie just goes up to the hi, excellent sir. Could you play some Neil Diamond?
I never say excellent, sir.
Some Neil Diamond on those scratchy circles.
I love it. Listen, I'm born in the wrong era anyway. I mean, I always say like 1755 would have been my year. But then I also like most of my music that I listen to, and you like that too.
Yeah, I do.
It's just like the best of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But yeah.
It likes a compilation.
She loves the greatest hits. Yeah, exactly. And now 20.
I like singing along. For example, I was just in Munich for a family wedding, and I finally saw my sister and my 3 cousins. And literally, I mean, it was the most German wedding ever. We were in the Bavarian outfits, you know, all drinking.
I think I saw some videos from there. Was that when you had your gorgeous outfit? It looked beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. They're so hot. I have to give you one. Honestly, it's the most flattering dress for a woman because you have that corset and everything else gets pushed up. It's so good. And you should have seen us 4 a.m. It was the Hermans singing Papa Roach cut my life into like that.
Das ist mein last resort.
And we were all playing the air guitar, and it was like, oh my God, this is it. But that was my favorite part.
I feel like go to a German wedding has just zoomed to the top of my bucket list.
Yes. Next week, Oktoberfest starts. So you should come.
That's also on my bucket list. I feel like it would be a good hen do. Am I right or not?
It's a fucking great hen do, Leslie. If you get married, then call me. I will organize it for you.
I love that. So have you both left Made in Chelsea now, guys? Officially.
So no, I would. So you definitely have.
I have.
Yeah, I've taken a.
I would probably come back for like, like a friends kind of like reunion and in 20 years, like
with
hey,
shitloads of Botox. Well, everyone looks like that.
Excuse me, I had stem cells. I don't need anything anymore.
That was terrifying. The Friends reunion. It won't be like Friends reunion.
Oh God, that was.
I know, and it made me so upset because they're like absolutely immortalized in your mind.
Exactly.
In that age where they filmed it. So like they're about 40s max in our head. And to just see them in all their nearly 60-year-old glory, it's so ageist, but it was a shock, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But same with Sex and the City. I mean.
I turned that off after she made him have a wank. Do you remember that?
After who had a wank? No,
Carrie made Big have a wank in like episode 2, and I was trying to watch it with my mum, and I thought
in the kitchen with Che Diaz. Oh yeah, Che Diaz. Oh my God! I made Luca watch that, a common friend of ours, and he was literally just sitting there like. It was
too much for me.
It was a bit mucho.
Do you know what? I think I missed Samantha. I'm sorry, it's probably really boring
it's
for you,
not
Fred.
The same. No, he's fully with us.
I don't know.
he knows. Which one are you? Are you more of a Miranda?
You're such a Miranda.
You tell me.
You're such a
Miranda.
I don't even know I don't know who Miranda is. Which one is she?
The redhead.
Wait.
The redhead lawyer.
To be fair, though, is she the one with all the tattoos?
She also has big clit energy.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Miranda, I am.
She's decided she's a lesbian now as well. She's really cool.
She is a lesbian, and she's running for mayor in New York.
Oh, you mean real life? In real life, yes, she's been a lesbian for ages, but in the show, isn't she now a lesbian as well?
Yeah. I mean, well, Che is gender neutral, so I don't even know what that would be then.
Art imitating life, let's call it that, and move on. But you think the door is sort of always a little bit open for you, Freddie?
Me, so yeah, I've taken a break from the last 2 seasons actually. But yeah, I've done it for such a long time. It's been a huge part of my life. I've done it for a third of my life, which is crazy because I was one of the first 5 guys to do it. I know. So yeah, I've basically the last 2 seasons I haven't done, but I have a very good relationship with them, and I do actually enjoy it because I don't think I put as much onto the show as some other people, so it's not as turbulent for me.
Yeah,
I'm a lot more reserved.
So
I feel like for me, it can be very traumatic when it's like some of, as you just said, like when you put everything there I don't really do that as much. So it's always been okay for me.
That is like such a top tip, and I feel like I mentioned, would never have been able to do that. I always just literally blurt my emotions everywhere. But I think sort of remaining a little bit out of it and offering advice or, just dropping in and out, that's the best way to do it, because then you don't give so much.
It has pros and cons.
It has pros and cons. For example, I'd say with you, like, the fact that you just put everything out, a lot of people would have respected that and liked that and thought, wow, she's so brave for doing that, and I relate to that, and I think it's fair to say you've built an entire career and amazing life from doing that.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, your house looks pretty great from
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, it's honestly,
I'm no estate agent.
It's an Airbnb.
Insta versus reality. Look at the mess.
No, it looks stunning.
Thank you, guys. Honestly, I just wanted to say I've absolutely loved you both on Made in Chelsea, and I know you've got your exciting new podcast, and I will talk to you about that now. But before we finish part 1, I've got a little game.
What is it? Is it chat roulette? Because I'm ready.
Yeah, exactly. Just tilt the camera down. And...
I'm not letting this OnlyFans thing
Don't
go.
skip.
No, I'm going to say a name of a Made in Chelsea cast member, whether it be past or present, and you guys have to tell me instantly the first thing that comes to your head.
Okay, do we take it in turns?
Yeah,
or do we do say it like the same time?
I mean, it's your loss if you're too slow again.
Okay.
Let's bring it on.
Okay. Yeah, doggy dog, guys. Yeah. Right, are you ready?
Yeah.
First one, Spencer.
Devil. But we have sympathy for the devil. Spencer has been one of my favorite villains ever.
Yeah, he is. I mean, very good villain. Very good a reality villain. Go on. What are you thinking, Fred? You can have
I say villain as well, but yeah,
Mm.
he's an amazing. But was why people often watched it. I think early on.
That's
right?
creative. No?
Yeah. Well done, Freddie Mouse. You get the sack.
Freddie.
And you leave the game to me, all right? I'm just gonna close the.
Right, next one. Pass out the blocks on this one, Fred, because I can't watch that again. Jamie Lang.
OG.
Piles.
Piles.
Oh, that's Sophie. I actually saw that as well. Oh, stop. Apparently,
That is the first thing.
Miles. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he just had a new he's got the Newlyweds podcast with Sophie Hermann, and they just talked about the piles again, and I've heard more than enough pile stories from him. So yeah,
He's trying to get a collab with some Preparation H stream or something. He's vying for it.
So I didn't know the piles. Sorry, I can't believe we're doing this. This is not the way I intended this conversation to go. But I didn't know his piles was a long-running thing. I thought it was new. He wants to get that sorted.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it's been going on for years, like since before Croatia, and that was in 2017.
Yeah. Oh, honestly, I didn't realize anybody but pregnant women got piles anyway. Poor fella. Fucking hell.
Do they?
Yeah. Oh,
Poor
apparently it's
Habu.
awful. Yeah. Or poor Habu. Yeah, depends on where you look at it.
Either way.
It's a real shame for both of them.
I don't. He's very. when we were talking about sort of putting out everything, like that's an intense thing to just but he's.
Oh well, listen, it's but you know, instead of being so like happy and pily about it, he should just get it sorted.
I didn't know that was an adjective.
I just made that up. You're welcome.
Really feel like I am.
That should have been your word, pily. Pily Cyrus.
I think Jamie's one of those ones who's been doing this so long, he's forgotten where the line is, you know?
Absolutely, I couldn't agree with you more.
And I sometimes flirt with the line. Like sometimes I get up and I'm like talking about my periods and stuff and all the rest of it. And Erkan's like, could you just keep something for yourself? And I'm like, oh no, I've been doing this so long, I forgot the line. So I can empathize.
You also need to like news stories all the time, but like his is always below the belt.
There's the thing where it's like, I feel like he probably just keeps on giving stuff out and then he gets rewarded for being more and more open. So then he's like, okay, I'm running out of stuff to say. So you just get more and more.
Like a harlequin in front of the king. Like.
So do you think he doesn't even have piles? Do you just think it's...
No, I'm sure he does.
I mean, there's better things to make up about yourself.
Self-sabotage on a whole new scale.
I would love it if he didn't actually have piles. That would be my favorite.
Him with his agent being like, how can I get more engagement? You know what you got to do? You got to. I need people to talk about me more, and how can I do this?
Oh, Jamie and his perfect bumhole. We've got you sussed, sir.
Yeah.
Right, next one. Alex Mitten.
Huge dick.
Oh, as in literally, I've heard it.
I haven't seen it personally. I mean, not live, but there was once this picture. Why am I this person?
I'm just letting you go.
Because there has been this picture, remember, when he was still dating Irish Nicola. And they sent this picture around. And it was like...
Yeah, I've heard it's massive. Right, Millie McIntosh. We could just move on if you'd prefer.
Yeah.
Millie McIntosh. I don't really have that much to say. Except that she called Victoria a dog. I remember that. Yeah, bitch fights. That's like old school bitch fights. Mean girls. Okay. Kind of that.
Remember, Vicky, when we had this conversation when I was saying about not giving so much. I mean, my first words, I'm just like, nah, I'm not going to say that.
I say them for you.
Yeah, I just am too.
Actually, no, because Millie McIntosh was one of the most legendary things that she said was when she announced that Rosie Fortescue was shagging Hugo, and now they're all friends again. It's literally like a fucking swingers party. I mean, like
it's very Geordie Shore of them. I'm not.
Is that as well like that? that. Yeah, I just thought that's like, and everything in Munich is the same way. It's literally like, and you have a go, and you have a go, and then everyone sits at the table, and everyone has been inside each other, and I'm like, oh, it doesn't sit well with me.
Wait, where is this?
In Munich.
Not the wedding, you were just at.
But no, that was my family, Fred.
Okay, very different, very different. Classy.
Yeah, very, very much so. No shagging at all.
No, just Papa Road.
Miles.
Slag.
Nipple operation? What the fuck was that?
Did he have a nipple operation?
Uh-huh.
What? Was it to make them smaller?
He talks about it on Instagram, so it's fine to mention it. Miles, who looks like a chiseled Adonis, he is a beautiful, beautiful boy with like the body.
Oh, he's a nice bit of kid. He is.
Yeah, fucking great kid. And now he had his nipple surgery.
I think you know what's really interesting about. So I'd say Miles is I've spent a lot of time with Miles and would consider him a close friend, but like I haven't spoken to him in a long time, and I just saw that. But I think it's really interesting because Miles is an extremely good-looking guy.
Very.
But it's so interesting. I think it's like an insight into the human mind that you can be that like good-looking, and then you can still find something to pick apart. Like I remember he told me because if it's what I think it is. I haven't watched the video. I saw the thing where he basically takes out this giant medical out of his mouth.
Have you seen that video where he's like literally? It's like
he just deep throats this anesthetic thing, and I was
thing.
like, okay, that's enough Instagram for today. Anyway, so
it was literally down here, and they take that whole plastic schlong out of his throat,
and then it's like the spit and everything. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, listen, I had my stem cells also done with a collaboration, which was also a big operation in Turkey, but it just keeps on giving. I can only recommend it. I'll introduce you.
But anyway,
later. I would never film the actual like why.
And was that for Made in Chelsea or just for his Instagram?
No, I don't think so.
I love that. A nice segue of a Ferrari on Walton Street, and then just like.
Warts and all this episode.
Anyway, so no, as I was saying, so I think it's interesting because if I think it's what it is, it's like
Sorry.
I haven't actually seen it, but I remember he used to have this insecurity about his nipples that they were too big, and I was like, Miles, you're in insane shape,
tiny.
And you're extremely good looking, but it's like as for anyone listening, I think it's interesting just basically like no matter what you have. The way the human mind works, you can always find something to be unhappy about.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just shows that it's like with being happy with happiness is about being happy with what you have rather than looking at what you don't have. Because once you look at what you don't have, you'll never, ever be satisfied.
I completely agree with you, but then it is, and Vicky, you know that better than anyone else as well. Like when you're constantly in the public eye, and you know, you are photographed in certain ways, and your job is to be topless the whole time, like Miles, for everything. Then you are your own worst critic, and then you take one bad look. You can have like 1,000 comments that are great. There's one fucking comment.
That one comment that you wrote. Hey, big nipple Miles. What the fuck are those? Nipple,
and that will then gnarl at you and eat up on your self-esteem, and that I understand it. I mean, Chloe, for example, also struggles with this a lot. Chloe Ferry, and I think people are very harsh on, you know, because everyone's like, oh my god, look at that, and then people can actually get something done to you know, to feel better about themselves and to look better in pictures and on videos, and actually to please themselves, but also the public in the main thing. And then you get shit for that. Yeah. So I mean,
it's a bit of a cycle, a bit of a very vicious one.
Exactly. It's a really good point, because you can have one like comment such as, hey Fred, nice bald patch from Sophie, which leads me to change my hairstyle completely, you know, and I'm kidding. But she did one thing, she's like, wait, what the fuck is that?
He brings it up every day.
Is that a bald patch? Pretty much like, is it? So
every day he brings it up.
She's giving it the large about don't troll, guys. Queen troll right here.
I like your hair, Fred.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Freddie Mouse has the best hair.
You guys are too cute. If Miles is listening, I think he needs to be a bit kinder to himself. I didn't know he had burger nips. I'm sure they were lovely.
Oh, so now we know how the troll was. She's just revealed her hand.
Is that what it's called? Burger nips.
But
In Germany, we call it Teller nipple because Teller is the plate.
Oh, okay. Well, I only know because Erkan has burger nips and I laugh at his all the time.
Oh,
you know who has huge nipples and who actually should get them fixed? If Miles, if you're listening, your tiny nips were nothing compared to Joe Jonas. Have you seen that?
Wait, Sophie, we're literally talking about how not. Yeah, just Sophie gives this long thing where she takes the tone of the podcast to a more adult place and goes, "Look, guys. Everyone listening.
Yeah, but not if you look like, I mean, listen.
Don't troll, be kind to yourself. And don't point next thing. Hey, Joe Jonas, aka
You should,
Vicky.
but not if you look like, listen, I'm happily, openly admitting I had 2 nose jobs, I had my fair amount of fillers and Botox, and now the amazing stem cell therapy. I'm all for, improving yourself in a subtle way, and as long as it makes you happy. But if I see someone with the plate nipple walking around, then clearly that is something that you should fix.
But you would not be, let's be honest, a question to both of you. You would not be turned off. With Joe Jonas as a package, you'd be like, no, just with the nipples.
I would run out screaming, Fred. Have you seen this? I have to Google this. I'm not even sure if that's
obviously,
real.
Given that my fiance has larger nipples,
she likes that. It's a preference.
I clearly have a
She's going to be like, Joe Jonas nipples.
Does he have larger nipples?
Yeah, exactly. Wank bank. Is wank bank.
Often the wank bank. What is, why? What do your boyfriend's nipples look like?
Why?
Why?
Erkan's just so obviously he's like Turkish Cypriot, so very dark, swarthy gentleman in general, and he just has very large dark nipples. So I've deemed them his burger nips, and I love them. It's part of him, isn't it? So yeah.
I know what you mean. My ex-boyfriend had a giant birthmark splattered across his balls, and it looked like.
Imagine that.
No, it really looked like someone threw purple.
What did you do in your past life to piss off God so much?
Remember what Gorbachev had on his head, that kind of thing, and I was like, whoa. But then, I learned to love it. He then got it lasered for me in LA, but it kind of came back and I just didn't say anything anymore. And I just took them in my mouth.
Great. What if he listens to this podcast and now that's, insecurities, that
rest
Pandora's
in peace,
box.
Johnny. Bye-bye. Yeah.
Guys, I had loads more to ask you about the main podcast, but I'm just going to leave it there. And I'll see you in part 2. Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of Vicky, Pattison, The Secret 2. This week I'm joined by Sophie and Fred, best friends and Made in Chelsea legends. How are you guys?
Oh. Good, thanks.
Tell me all about your podcast, please.
So, Friends with Benefits has been a long time in the making because we have been actually planning this since...
it's about a year and a half?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I can't believe that it's finally here. Fred was teasing me.
I've actually said this joke recently, but it was funny because we were talking about doing this for so long. And then I just we'd go to an event and I'd hear Sophie talking about, and yeah, we've got this podcast coming out. And everyone's like, okay. And then I'd hear, go to somewhere else 6 months later. And yeah, we've got a podcast. It's really coming out. Let's go. And then I had this image of Sophie being in an old people's home, being like, we've got a podcast coming out. And then getting wheeled home. Yeah, I bet we do, Miss Herman. Yeah. And Freddie Mouse, he's going to be in it too. Freddie Mouse is dead. Yeah. You can be the nurse. You can be this.
Oh my God, you know what I've seen? You've done Drunk History, haven't you?
I did fucking
years ago now. I loved it. You were great. You're a great actress, a great thespian. I loved it. Honestly, I wish I could do it.
Are they still doing that? Are they still even making it?
I don't think so. I think they should bring it back.
Yeah, it was a good one.
I think we should do it, but this time not with booze, but with weed or something.
With meth.
Oh, that really escalated.
Yeah.
Fred is always like,
yeah.
Oh. Yeah, but so Made in Chelsea. Friends with Benefits.
Yes.
And how did the name come about? You guys are friends with benefits? Have been in the past? What's the history there?
This has been a benefit. Hey, you changed the sofa. It's a different sofa now. Well, not on that sofa.
Is that a tactical change of subject there, or?
Yeah.
No, well, yeah. Anyway, so it all started where Sophie and I think we did like an Instagram live a while ago, and we had like 45,000 people do this Instagram live. It was huge.
You always remember these numbers because I know it was a big one for you.
Yeah, exactly. It was big for anyone. You haven't seen engagement like that since, Herman. Anyway, so we did this thing together, and it was just really fun to bounce off each other, and yeah, Sophie and I mean, as we said before, like Made in Chelsea is just like a particular sort of slice of our lives and stuff. So yeah, it was just a fun thing where we could talk about anything we want and be unfiltered and
unfilthed, but also because everyone on it seems like the entire world, and especially everyone in Britain, wanted us to get together and have blonde beautiful babies. So that has been every picture that I post with Fred is like, why don't you do it? And people are really aggressive there now. Enough now, what the fuck are you guys doing? You're wasting everyone's time. And they are so invested in this. So I thought we finally give the public what they wanted, which is a baby. And it's been more than a year in the making. It's been a very heavy birth, but we finally
delivered this. You don't need to freeze the podcast.
Baby.
It's forever, you know?
But yes, listen, if you tune into our podcast very soon, then you will know exactly what transpired benefits wise.
Nice, Sophie, giving the people little fishing thing there. Love that.
Hang on, so you guys have just used my podcast not only to plug your own, but you're not even giving me any gossip.
We have no shame.
We'll end there.
No shame.
You posh bastards. No, but consider my appetite whetted. I cannot wait to listen, guys.
We love to wet you in any way, darling.
We want to have you on.
Yes, please.
Do you have guests in as well?
Of course. Yeah. We
Amazing.
do sometimes we do it just the two of us. But
Sometimes we have extra help, you know.
Yeah.
Little menage a trois.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody?
Yeah. You got to keep things interesting. Everyone knows this. A little external help.
But the benefit is also that, honestly, like Fred, I call him when we are literally there. I can call him at any time of the day. And he is literally my best friend, and he's always there for me. He was the plus one for a very tough time in my life when my little sister got married and I was single. So he came as the
We've all been there, so we've all been there.
You know, I really did not imagine myself in that position. But Freddie Mouse really, he even sang on the first day. He sang his own version of the Wicked game.
Yeah, I got asked to do, well, actually, no, it was just like an impromptu thing I did.
After my grand speech.
Oh yeah, the speech.
That I read off a paper like a blind person with like letters like that, because I have the biggest like mouth and ever.
And I'd also like to say we've got a podcast.
I have stage fright when I need to.
Yeah, that's actually one thing I've said this before, but Sophie, like now, is super confident and you know, so sort of quick and stuff, but you don't like public speaking.
I'm the same. So everyone thinks, oh, she's like full of beans, she's dead confident, like nothing must faze her. But things like public speaking in particular amongst like your friends and family, it's just too nerve-wracking for us. Like I couldn't do it at all. Erkan gave a speech at our engagement party and I was so proud of him because I couldn't have done it. Not at all.
Yeah, it was fun. I know. I quite liked doing that.
You were like a great support for that whole week of family.
I think with
drama.
You know, with friends, I think it's important to, with any sort of relationship, you want to bring out the best in each other, and I feel like that Sophie and I definitely do that. Sort of help each other, and we can be very sort of joke and take the piss out of each other, but also I feel like Sophie's one of these people that is also extremely hard on herself. And I feel like you actually listen to me, so I can get you out of these sort of situations where you're kind of not feeling, and help you see things as they are.
What do I do for you, Freddie Mouse?
You do everything for me.
Plus, we look great in every picture, so that's why, like, we're also.
This is very aesthetically pleasing. I'm not gonna lie. I've not complained once.
That's why he's like he hates going to these red carpet events, but he needs to sometimes. So I always wheel him out. And
Sophie loves the red carpet.
I love it. It's getting me.
But that's actually weird because you don't. It's just you like that kind of attention, but like speeches and stuff.
No, because then I have my dad looking at me and with his disapproving look already, and just brings up childhood trauma, and and then I have to like, I don't.
I feel like I know the answer to this question. You guys obviously believe that males and females can have really platonic friendships and stuff, but do you have any advice for anybody, you know, trying to become like, have a platonic friendship with someone that potentially had a romantic link with in the past? Is there any rules you guys don't break now?
Don't shag.
Yeah, I mean, obviously probably up there, yeah.
My egg freezing email just came in. Funny.
Stop! Okay, so I mean, I'm dying to ask about that, but quick, any advice for anybody trying to move into the like platonic friendship lane from the shag lane?
The shagging thing's a big one. I think just also being, I mean, I think for us, the pros definitely outweigh the cons of being this close, right? As in, for most of the time.
Sophie agrees.
What do you mean?
No, as in, if you think about, I would never ever want to not have you in my life.
Oh,
like,
I know that's nice.
Like, so I would never want to jeopardize anything. So I think the way that we are now is perfect.
That's true. I don't know, I always was a firm believer that boys and girls, there's always one that wants more.
Something, yeah.
And these kind of friendships. And Freddie Mouse has been the only person in my life that actually has proven me different. So I do think it doesn't work for everyone. It is a very, very special relationship that we have and that I very much cherish. The first time that we actually met was at a German metal concert in the O2 Arena, Rammstein, which was amazing. And I was there with my ex-boyfriend, unfortunately, and because otherwise we probably wouldn't have been friends. We would have like shagged once and then that would have been it. Because I saw him with his long hair and he lifted up this other girl who like as a sacrifice for like this picture. It was so hot and I was like, fucking hell, who is that?
I want to be sacrificed.
Exactly. And I already, I'm quite psychic as well and very spiritual. And by this moment, I knew he is going to be in my life somehow. By that time, I obviously thought we're going to bang. But now I know why. And I remember when I came back onto Made in Chelsea, I had a little break. And then I came back in 2017 and they were like, what do you want to do? And at that time, I was freshly single. And then I got back together with my ex. Exactly. That's why our penguin date didn't work. Fred waited with a ice sculpture penguin. It was so cute.
And the penguin wasn't the only thing that melted. Let's just say that when she left.
No, but I then got back together with my ex-boyfriend and that just like, it's all about timing. And I believe in divine intervention and the universe did mean for us to have a relationship, but not that.
I also think
I think this is going to last much longer.
Yeah, I think so, definitely. And it seems to me as though you manifested this all those years
I think
ago,
so, somehow.
That rock journey.
Kind of in the wrong way now, but yeah, it worked out perfectly. Yeah.
And Sophie mentioned just before that you got your little egg freezing email through. This is obviously something very close to my heart. Like, for me, I found Erkan, I desperately believe I found the right man, but I just think the timing's not right. And I'm sort of a bit nervous. Like, I'm 35, same as you this year.
Yes.
And I just don't want to be ready, in 5 years' time and then find out it's like very complicated, difficult, potentially impossible. Are those your feelings?
Yes, I mean, I don't have a boyfriend right now. I'm dating everything, literally everything. But I don't have a partner right now. And I am not a person who's also like very like, I don't want a baby right now as well. I want to enjoy my freedom. And even if I would have a relationship, I definitely want to get married like tomorrow. That is something that I really want. But then I also wouldn't want to have a baby immediately. And I don't want to have that pressure anymore. I like to have the pressure off. And as you said, like, to be honest, most of my friends that are, engaged, married, or in a couple and that are trying to have babies, I would say I think it's even more than 50% that are struggling with conceiving, and it is really much more difficult than you think. And we are in this very lucky position where we have these offers to then promote these very important things and an amazing science advantages that we have in our time now to actually do this. And I think, why the fuck not? If we have the ability to do it and if the possibility, then I would love to do it. But I'm also very scared.
Yeah, I think that's normal. Like, I feel like you've echoed a lot of my sentiments there. I've felt super lucky and I felt really liberated the minute I made the decision as well. Like, all of a sudden I wasn't in a rush for everything, you know. I could finally just enjoy being engaged, enjoy having a dog without thinking in the back of my head, fucking hell, get a move on, you know, you dusty old eggs. Sounds
like a starter. And we have the dusty eggs for
the 1,000-year-old egg.
Wow. Well, thank you, Gordon Ramsay.
So I read an article where you said your eggs were described as geriatric.
Geriatric, so far. That is not like my words.
Everyone.
Yeah, 35. I'm really sorry. It's not just mine. It's everybody's over the age of, I think, around 30. Your eggs are described that way.
Really?
It's such a scary realization because I just don't think we know enough about our reproductive systems and all the rest of it as women. And it is quite
but you know, it is so tough because you have to inject yourself for 2 weeks right into the stomach. And another friend of mine has just documented her beginning of her journey. Brittany, her Instagram is called This Is 30 Waves or 30 Waves. And she lives with Ollie and Gareth here in An American Girl in London.
Oh my God, is she the one who's come over to do it here? Because it's so much.
Yes, the blonde, beautiful one. And she's 36 and now she can't do it because the first time it didn't work now.
No.
Yeah. So that's also another thing. Like for men, of course, yes, men can also be reproductively challenged. But in the end, all you have to do is jizz in a fucking cup. It is so easy. Like, why can't...
Is that the technical term?
Yes, that is it. Please just
medical
dear
professional.
Excellent, sir. Yeah. But it is, and I'm scared because like I don't want to bloat around here. That's my that's the area where I gather fact for anyway first. So
it's going to be such a huge change, mate, and I don't blame you for being like super apprehensive. I'm trying to negotiate the process around work at the moment, and even as I say that, like, I think, God, you're taking steps to procure your future happiness, Vicky. That should be the forefront of your mind. But the thing is, like, I can't do it when I'm away filming because my hormones will be all over the place. I can't do it when I'm doing this charity trek to the Sahara because nobody wants to see us crying for 12 days.
But it's not even about that. And that doesn't always have to happen, but it's because you have to go almost every day back into the clinic as well. So you have to be available. And that is something, and I'm going to start the first consultation. You have to start it, I think, on the last day of your period, which will be right after Oktoberfest. So mine eggs are going to be boozy and beery.
Deviled eggs.
You should call your kids that.
Boozy and beery, Herman. But also, Vicky, between you and me, listen, I actually only since the last 2 years, I've come to terms that I would probably consider having a cesarean. Otherwise, before that, I would always wanted a surrogate because I once had the coil put into me when I was 20 and I actually experienced labor pain and they gave me morphine, but that was fun. But the actual pain fucked me up forever.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's why I was always like, you can freeze my eggs, like, and then put it into someone else, which is weird here, the regulations as well. I mean, Ollie and Gareth are talking and struggling with that as well, because you can get an English surrogate, but you cannot implant the egg here. You cannot fertilize the egg here. Really? So it's so stupid. And it's so much money as well. I mean, anyway, now I've decided I'm freezing my eggs, and I would probably, I will definitely then trying to have that by myself with a nice old C-section. And you can get the Hollywood mom package in thingy and get it all through the same scar. and a little tummy tuck. And also
all at the same time.
Also,
package.
just another, sorry, Fred, I
And
know
the
this,
flights.
I'm talking a lot about this because I'm very passionate and I just had 3 coffees. So because I had the stem cell treatment done with Dr. Tunç Tiryaki, thank you very much, he actually told me about something where it just makes me so excited that about the time that we live in now. It is a bit, you know, contradicting, and not everyone, especially mothers, will be like, nah, I don't think it's ethically correct. I think it's science and it's a great thing to do. You can freeze your eggs, you can bring them, it's already allowed in Cyprus. You can create little embryos and then to fully Benjamin Button yourself, because with the current stem cells it's all about maintenance and you just stay like this and it's nice. But to turn back the clock, you can get fetus stem cells.
I think you've had enough coffee. Just put that down.
Oh my God, so they are actually creating ways to Benjamin Button ourselves.
Honestly, if you're rich enough, you can live forever, Vicky.
Yeah.
I feel like you've given us an awful lot to think about.
Yeah, exactly.
Would Fred, are you excited about potentially taking on a little Godfather role?
Yeah, obviously.
Oh, you would definitely.
I've never thought about this.
I thought about this the other day because I constantly manifest things, and I thought the best Godfather would be.
Oh my God, yeah.
110%.
You were 100%.
Yes.
100%.
Yes.
Would be the Godfather.
I do.
He would be
so
the best.
cute.
No one gives better life advice than this mouse.
Oh, I would really. You guys are just cute as bunnies in bow ties. Before I let you go, I really want to do that little TikTok game with you. Have you seen it? You know, it's normally done in couples, but you two are, it's like far closer in my opinion than most couples. And I ask you like, who's more this and who's more that? And
Oh yeah. Do we have to like do our heads like that as well?
You can do that, or you could do your finger points. It's totally up to
I
you.
point with the finger.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Good. Better than.
Wow.
A little bit of whiplash.
Yeah.
Right. First one in. Who's the most high maintenance?
Are you kidding me? You should have pointed to yourself there.
That is true. No, definitely.
Double point.
Okay. Who falls in love fastest? It's all fingers on Sophie. Yeah, I think I'm the same.
That's how I like it.
Fast and furious. Right. Who is the most loyal? Oh,
both of. I would say both of us. We are very much the loyal male over here. So, but that's why we're also such good friends, because I think, great sense of justice.
Also, you've had I think with all your really close friends, you always have big fallouts with them, we've never had a fallout ever.
I really don't always have fallouts with them.
Do we need to bring up the blockchain as well? We haven't blocked each other yet, Victoria.
That's the only friend that I had a big fallout, and
Eloise.
Listen,
anything else? Oh, so you want to do
the dirty laundry?
play this game? Thank you for
I
this
guess what
lovely
I'm trying to
game,
say
Vicky.
is we've never had a fallout until now where I'm bringing this up.
Yeah.
So move on to the next one so we can keep it that way.
I feel like the next one's likely to make another argument, and it's making me sweat behind the knees. Who's the most likely to cheat?
No. I wouldn't point to you because I've never cheated in my life. But have you?
I've cheated on every boyfriend except my last, but I was also very young and unhappy. And my last boyfriend I was with for 5 years, and I never cheated.
So let's just redirect that point.
It's called growing up, okay?
Yeah.
The fact that you had the nerve to point at Freddie there, brilliant.
Because I would never do this, obviously, anymore.
Of course,
I had my reasons.
I
had my reasons. I wanted to
was
be
like
safe.
3 months ago, okay?
The last, but by certainly no means the least. Who's most likely to commit a crime / be arrested? Brilliant. All hands pointed off.
Love it.
That was a very illuminating game. I hope I haven't caused any tension.
Never. My little felon over here. Oh, you cheating felon.
Hot felon.
Yeah.
Before I let you guys go, here at Vicky Pattison, The Secret To, we always ask our gorgeous guests to give our lovely listeners a couple pearls of wisdom. Over the years, we've had various things from how to get over a broken heart, how to have good mental health, but it feels as though in a nod to your podcast, it would be rude to do anything other than The Secret To how to be good friends with benefits. Does anybody have does anyone have a secret?
Well, no, I was just going to say, I don't know if I can say, but it's something else, because I literally just was in a situation yesterday, but this has nothing to do with friends' benefits. I feel like it's a pearl of wisdom. Can I share that?
Go on, Freddie, why not? You could be the first one ever to tell me to fuck off and have your own secret.
Do you know what? Fuck off. I'm fucking sick of this. So
this is a first in Vicky Pattison, The Secret History. We've done hundreds of episodes.
We like first. So
go on, go for it, boy.
What I would say is that, because it's something I really think about a lot, is to, and it sounds quite cheesy and Sophie's probably going to roll her eyes, but I'm going to push through anyway. Like, to anyone listening, to really not let fear hold you back, because it comes in every single different, and the amount of things that I've not done in life, and now I'm 33 and I just look back at all these things and think I didn't do that because I was genuinely like worried about the outcome or this. And I think even with like our podcast, right, there were so many people that were saying, oh, you shouldn't do that, like it's, you know, what do we need another podcast? Oh, another reality star starting a podcast. But the amount of times that we let other people dictate for us not to do stuff.
Yeah.
So I think anyone listening, if you have that thing that's at the back of your mind that you've always wanted to do, life isn't a dress rehearsal. You get one shot and go and do it.
Oh, you know, I actually really like that, Fred. Very sound advice. Do you have anything to add, Soph?
Don't shag.
Going back to the original secret too there.
Yes, exactly.
That is my,
that's just a rule.
I feel like once it's been in there, there's no way back. And I mean, some people can be good friends afterwards, but I think once you've broken that barrier, I don't know why I'm doing this. Emotions get heated and pheromones are developing, and I would suppress that, put it in a box, and be good friends.
So lovely talking to you today, guys, and lovely advice as well. I wish you the best of luck with your podcast, and I can't wait to be a guest.